Hey everybody, Jay Barino here. Gonna be doing a quick showcase of an indie RTS title today. This is Buggos. I picked it up for $3.50 on sale on the Steam summer sale. Usually when there's a Steam sale, I like to check the RTS genre just to see if there's something I can pick up for really cheap and try it out. I think it'd be nice maybe if I did some showcases like this. This one, it's an auto battler. So, yeah, it's kind of neat. I figured I'd give it a shot, show you guys. Again, you can pick it up on Steam. So I already started the campaign. I'm not going to start from the very beginning. This is more, again, just to kind of showcase what's going on. So we play as a bug faction. And here's all the upgrades that we can get. As you can see, I haven't made it that far up this chain yet. But just sort of deciding how we want to spend our evolutions. Since I'm not jumping right into the game and I showed you the evolution chain first, I'm not going to spend much time in here going over all of this because it's it's better spoken about, I think, in the actual game. I'm going to take this goo on death, though. I'm working through. This is kind of the economic portion, I think. But yeah, don't worry too much about this. We'll talk about it after we play a level. We can kind of come back and you can see what I am talking about. So what's next? 3 of 10, 8 of 10, 4 of 10 is probably the next one I want to do. So these little circles, these are the evolution points that we get. So we're going to get 2 for this that we can spend in our evolution table. Curious Technology Center, sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is build some more hives. I start with a bunch of workers. That's an evolution that I took. And the workers sacrifice themselves to make more hives. So I'm just going to keep making more hives to get more bugs. So this up here is our nutrients, and that's kind of our resource. So the hives spawn bugs, and spawning the bugs costs resources. This thing right here, this meter, this is our supply meter, like the total number of bugs that we can have. We can increase the amount of nutrients that we get by putting down these nutrient pustules. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to go ahead and move all my bugs up to start attacking some structures. And it looks like the humans have this new tower here. It's a human Tesla tower. Okay, we're red alert now, boys. So you can't individually control any of the bugs, which is why this is mostly an auto battler. And the best we can do is really just put down our structures. So the little worker bugs, you can only control where they go to a certain extent. So like if I were to put a hive like way up here, my worker bugs probably wouldn't even make it up there. Generally the worker bugs, if they can't get somewhere to build something that's close to where they spawn, like down here, they die and they turn into this little green paste. And then the green paste, that's actually what I put a point into, which is the goo on death. And eventually I'm going to make it so that like my bugs do more damage on the goo, or my bugs move faster on the goo. So again, we'll worry about that as time goes on. So it looks like I think it's our worker bugs leave goo on death. I mean, if our normal bugs left goo on death, there'd be some up here. And then down here we can pick a general passive. We can spawn bugs faster, we can produce more nutrients, or we can do more damage. So generally if our resources are in a good spot and we're capped out on supply, we add the attack. Right now we're good on nutrients. So I'm going to go ahead and increase my spawn rate instead. You can see this is filling up with how fast we're making bugs. So generally, we're just going to want to change our rally point for our workers to where we need to build more hives. And it's looking like we're probably going to need more nutrient pustules as well. So, like, our hive back here is spawning builders, and those builders aren't going to make it far enough up to build more hives. So what I'm going to have them do is I'm going to assign them to build some pustules back down here where they're starting. And then eventually we can just turn off this this hive completely. But for right now, that's not what we need to do. I'm just going to go ahead and start making more hives closer to the front. So currently I don't have that many bugs. I've got the little purple bugs, which are little melee guys. I have my worker bugs, and then I have my little ranged dudes. So I can also make these titans, which I'm really excited about. We gotta produce more nutrients. I need more nutrient pustules. So we're getting resources from the goo on the ground, not that much, but the goo does give us resources, and then these pustules give us some as well. These Tesla towers attack very, very fast. I'm not sure if we're gonna quite be able to make it through here. Let's keep pushing, and then eventually we just gotta build enough hives such that we get enough bugs spawning from the very, very front that we can overwhelm this. And then we can also make some titans. Those will help as well, too. Now, I don't have any defensive structures. That is something that I probably should get, but I don't have right now. These, yeah, these Tesla towers are pretty wild. Now, this game, it's... I like the art style. It's very quaint. I don't mean that in an insulting way. I just like it. It's very simple. It looks like we broke through up at the top here. They're also coming from down in that direction, too. I'm gonna go ahead and get some Titan eggs, actually. So I'm gonna build these towards the front, where my workers are generally spawning, so that they do run into them right away. And these are gonna spawn big bugs. Okay, we're producing... Yeah, our nutrients are still okay. Our spawn rate is fine. Let's go ahead and change our spawns to go over in this direction. And make sure our worker bugs are over here. On top of the Titan eggs, because I need some Titans that'll help me finish this up, I think. It's a pretty low difficulty mission. I'm not sure if this is the best introduction to the game, but again, it's very relaxing, it's very casual. On a day like today, when, you know, I've got a bit of a headache, not quite enough that I want to take a nap, but, you know, enough that I don't feel like recording something more challenging. This is what I'm going for. Let's go ahead and change our rally point straight out into the middle. So the general idea is I'm going to be building closer and closer out towards where the enemies are so that they spawn. Here come our first Titans. Those are expensive. They cost 500, so we just need enough nutrients. So I guess we need more nutrient pustules. Again, I built the pustules close to where the workers are going to spawn so that I can guarantee those will get built. You have very little control over what your bugs do, so you just have to do your best with the rally points and try and set up structures, you know, like this, just to ensure, again, that my builders actually end up somewhere where they can be useful. These enemy tanks are pretty mondo. And I think part of the problem is our units are going up and around, so maybe we can rally up here and sort of stack up. I'm going to keep my nutrient bonus going right now. Every so often something comes through this area, though, so that we have to be careful. And I could probably just build even more hives up here. That's exactly what I'm going to do, actually. And as we get more goo on the ground, we're also going to get more resources that spawn even faster. So that's why this should work just fine. Let's go ahead and change our rally now over here. Straight in, bring them in. This one tank is a problem, but I'm not that concerned about it. I can change my rallies eventually. And you can change your rallies for each individual bug. But we're the F2 crew, so... Here, I'll put my worker bugs up here. Looks like we made some good progress in there. We thinned them out for sure. The large guys are really doing it for us. And I'm just going to throw down some nutrient pustules just so that we can get more bugs out faster. We're never, like, fully at zero. We're kind of at an equilibrium here, but we're not positive on our total bug meter. So, like, this is a case where we probably want to turn off some of these in the back, and we want pretty much all of our frontline bugs to come from up here so that we can push into this area. This down here, this opening down here is a problem. I have to probably eventually going to want to get some actual defensive structures. So I think we want to turn off these, and I can get some nutrient pustules down here. And then just keep making hives closer to the front so that we're, like, the majority of our bugs are coming from that direction. Our Titan eggs down here, we do need some workers in that general area to make sure that we continue having Titans, because those are important for us. And once these hives are done, and I'm going to build even more nutrient pustules. Let's go ahead and, I guess, turn some of these back on, because we've got some dudes coming from down here, too. Okay, it's looking like we're making progress. It's slow going. I have a lot of workers. Eventually, there's a thing you can turn on. Actually, I'm gonna have my workers all rally to the Titan eggs. I'm gonna make more Titan eggs. But eventually, you can have it set so that, and I haven't paid for this yet with my evolution stuff, but you can make it so that only certain bugs spawn that you want. There is music, by the way, and I think I turned it down. I think it's a little too quiet, but that's okay. The music is different on each level. Okay, looks like we broke through. Once you destroy the little building, like these are just little houses that do nothing, but the bigger structure, that's where the enemies actually spawn from. We can turn these back on down here, and we're maxed out. We should have turned on attack damage much earlier. The Titans really help us break through. But my composition here is entirely what I chose it to be from the evolution menu, and you can also respec. You can unassign and reassign points, but a lot of stuff is prerequisite for other stuff. But I chose to go the Titan path. Yeah, so we lost 3,000. The 3,000 units, 10 to 1. Whoops. So send me back, and then we'll go to evolutions available. And then we can choose where we want to go. So now we can kind of review this. We started with sentience. Suddenly we were, and we could build the swarmers, the little purple guys. And then this down here is like swarmer speed, and then influence as well. Apparently, you could see how the bugs just sort of erratically move around and generally move towards where you ask them to with the rally points. But if you increase the influence, they're a little smarter in doing that. I've increased my max bug capacity. Right now, to me, it seems like my issue is I'm not able to get my bug rate off the ground fast enough, mostly because of nutrients. So there's a couple things. I have 2 points. So here you can see this is where I got the Titan, and then I can upgrade the Titan up here as well. Spiked Carapace, Titan Influence, and then up here, you know, there's Defender, Swarm, Mother. I don't know what any of those actually do, but up and up and up we go. Eventually it just seems like the higher strains of things. But the Spiner is my little ranged guy. I've upgraded their range. The only thing I haven't upgraded is their health, and I just don't think that that's the right choice now. So with 2 points, I think we probably need the Spore Launcher so that we can defend ourselves a little bit better, and I'm leaning towards the Goo. More damage when they're on Goo, +2 armor when on Goo. If a builder is killed, they have a chance to Goo the area below them. Okay. In retrospect, I don't know if that was the best thing to take because we got a lot of excess goo on the ground from the builders not being able to actually get to what they wanted to build in the first place. So maybe that wasn't the right choice. Swarmer speed down here seems pretty good too. Also, the faster spawn rate, just straight up faster spawn rate also seems good. Here's the selective breeding program. Allows, I realize this is very small, you have to zoom in. I do think, like, indie games especially, like, the menuing is something that's very important to me, and certain little things, like crispness of menuing, this one is pretty good, but, like, when you click it and select it, you know, it's got the little sound to it, it goes poof, you know, that's nice, but when you zoom out, the text is smaller. I feel like that, you know, just have that be the same size when you mouse over it. Just tiny things like that. So this allows you to select what buggos are allowed to spawn. Right. I actually think my issue right now is probably nutrient related, but I don't think, well, I can increase my extra starting nutrients. 20, 40, I mean, like, that's not enough, in my opinion. I mean, they do stack, but I just don't think that that's really getting me what I need. Selective breeding program is tempting because eventually I just feel like I don't really need that many workers anymore. I think I'm going to take Spore Launchers just so that I can finally have some sort of defensive option. Shoot spores at nearby enemies. How exciting. Artistic Zen. Builders are peaceful and will not attack. I don't really see the benefit for that, to be honest. I'm thinking Speed Goo just so that my units further back can move up to the front a little bit faster. I feel like upgrading the goo in general is a good choice. So yeah, I'm fine with those. Oh, and I should point out again, so I could unassign as much of this as I want and then reassign it. So like if I didn't want the Titan, I could just go backwards as far as I want and just unassign anything that isn't dependent for something else. But you can, start from as far up as you are and then unassign and reassign. Okay, so we did the Curious Technology Center, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. You can do them in any order, but I generally am doing it, as the difficulty increases. Very dangerous humans. It's important you put a hive down right away and tell your builders to get on it, because your workers will die and create goo really, really early. If you don't assign them to get building on something. All right, so let's review the map. Okay, very small map. There's only one way in. That seems like it's going to be a difficult thing to break. So we want to just get our production set up. This is not a hard start. Usually what's going on at the start is you are, there's a lot of pressure put on you from a couple different directions. In this case, they can only come from one direction. So like I can just tell all my bugs to move out in this direction and defend us while my nutrient pustules get set up, my new hives get set up. Probably smarter to just put down one hive and wait for it to finish so that you can double your production straight up. And our nutrients are fine on one hive, so we can just spawn more bugs. There's probably a lot of math to this based on, like, how many nutrient pustules versus how many goo spots you have per hive. I don't know if, I just don't think it's really worth figuring out. I'm never going to, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, our nutrients are taken off because we got these nutrient pustules to finish first. I need more builders, please. Please, more builders. And it's exciting. We were able to build a spore launcher now. Again, like, if I were to put a spore launcher way up here, none of my builders would really ever make it out there, I don't think. See, like, that builder just died. He exploded and for no reason, and then became goo. Okay, workers, come on. We want these hives finished, please. The tanks scare me a bit. They only have one command center here. Trains dirty humans that want to fight. I like the music, too. Usually some pretty good bops going on here. Okay. Next, we want to basically move further towards the front here. So I'm going to have my builders rally up in this. Oh, I'm going to tell everybody to rally up here and maybe start taking care of this tank. So we basically are going to leapfrog into new hives. And when these finish, we're going to see a big nutrient problem. So as soon as these finish, we're just going to put down a ton of nutrient pustules around all of our hives so that any builders that spawn get those set up quickly. And meanwhile, I'll just keep the pressure on this tiny. It's a very small choke point. The sooner that we open up these walls, the better. Oh, okay. This mission was surprisingly simple, actually. This seems easier than the last one. Now, it seems like each world that you go to, I'm on World 3. When we go back to the world map, I'll show you. It seems like each world, it gives you like 2 or maybe 3 easier missions at the start to ensure that you can get some new evolution points if you need them. And then the last 2 missions of each world are surprisingly difficult, I think. Like, for example, in World 1, we had like a 7 out of 10 difficulty or something like that. We want the hive set up like over here. We can even build some spore launchers. And we want to turn these off, I think. And you can see now we're having more nutrient problems. But since we turn those hives off, the rate at which we're spawning buggos, the bugs, won't be as much of a problem, so like, the buildings themselves don't cost resources, but the spawns to create the workers do. I'm curious about these spore launchers. So let's give those a shot. Okay. Increase the spawn rate of bugs, please. And then we'll get some Titan eggs out, and we should be good to go. They're starting to break through a little bit. We really need these other hives to finish. Alternatively, I could turn these back on. In fact, I'm going to turn these on. At the very least, even these workers, they won't get anywhere, but they'll create goo. And they can get up to the front faster because of the goo that we've put down, so. Yeah, maybe these spore things will be really helpful. Who knows? Seems like our income is able to keep up with everything here. Let's turn these off again. Getting through that, yeah, is going to be difficult, and I think the answer will just be to have some of these eggs. The Titan eggs. The swarmers and the whatever they're called, these littler ones, the spiners, have done pretty good for us up until now. But obviously, with the enemy has tanks, I needed something bigger, so I'm glad I rushed those Titans pretty fast. Okay, nutrients again. We're working on 8, so that's Those get finished pretty fast. So long as you put them right by the hives, the builders will pop out and immediately proc on them. And it looks like we're already breaking through here. Doing pretty good. So as soon as these proc, as soon as these eggs pop, we should be in great shape. The other thing that I guess I could do, number one, is just get way more nutrient pustules, because what else are our workers used for if they're not actively building something? Other than the Titan eggs, it's just the Titans can be at full, but they won't spawn unless there's enough nutrients to pop them. It's just create more nutrient pustules close by the hives. There we go. Now it's coming in pretty fast. I mean, we destroyed their command center, so that's that. Some missions have like 4 or 5 command centers. So again, we took the defensive structures, and I think that was the right choice. Only 15 health though. Okay, over here, please. But yeah, it's a pretty short showcase. I don't think I'll show another mission, but just kind of give you an idea. It's very much an auto battler because you don't individually control any of the units. You do have some semblance of control over how your structures get built. It's pretty clever. Good music. Just fun, simple, quick missions. I don't know how long this mission or how long this game goes for, but you can see here I've already done these first 2 worlds, and now we're on world 3. And we just finished, the Hidden Flea Village. So now I have, 2 more points to spend? And I'm wondering if maybe we want to work our way up towards some of the cooler new units, which looks like the only way up is to go through selective breeding. Increases max hive spawn size by 50 nutrients. Okay, so currently I think we pop units every 35 nutrients, and now basically we can spend our nutrients faster using that right here. But again, we have to go up this pathway if we want to make our way towards any other units. A slow-moving range defensive bug. Good health and strong defensive skills. She's a mobile breeding colony that produces swarmers. A flying buggo that can traverse over cliffs and rocks. The boom slug. Slow-moving, highly explosive bug who only enjoys destruction. A medium armored buggo with high life and damage. Obviously, the warrior seems good, but it's going to be a while. I mean, look how far up we have to go. It seems like at a certain point, a lot of this is specific to the individual unit that you get, I think. Again, the only thing is it's very small to read some of these, and then you have to, zoom in, and I can make walls, which is, I can make floor traps. Spore artilleries. That actually seems great, but I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think any of this down here is necessarily needed, because generally we're not attacking when we're on goo. I just thought that would let us get more resources and get stuff from the back closer to the front. Just letting our units move faster seems pretty good. Swarm guidance for swarmers. Each unit has its own move speed and influence upgrade. Yeah, I'm going to take the selective breeding, I think. 5% chance for twins. Duplicate some spawns for free. That does seem really good. Let's just make our way further up the tech tree. I think that's the key right now. Builder speed also seems like it would be really good. In fact, I'm going to take builder speed first. Yeah, this increases the cost for other bugs. I don't know. Now, this is less of a showcase, and I'm just curious, oh, how do we want to do this? This seems really cool. Gain a small amount of nutrients from each buggo that dies seems really good. Increases movement of all bugs. Grants the Overmind a power-up to increase buggo move speed. Okay, so there's something usable there. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, here you go. That's Buggos. Again, it's available on Steam. It's on sale for the Steam summer sale at the time of this video coming out. For that price, I'd highly recommend it. It's not super crisp and clean in the menuing per se, but the gameplay loop is very simple, very fun, and it's nice and relaxing. I quite enjoy it. It's satisfying. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.